Yep. Okay. All right. Good win Saturday night. Regardless of the final score, there's always things that show up on tape that got to get corrected, and believe me, there's plenty there. Really more interested in moving on to our next opponent, which will be a real challenge at Iowa. Got a lot of respect for Coach Ferentz, everything he's accomplished throughout his career as a head coach and as an assistant too. You know, he's a great line coach before he became a head coach, and he was a graduate assistant at Pitt in 1980. I was a graduate assistant at Pitt in 83 and 84. He's come by the offices now and then. Had a chance to met him a couple times out and around, got to know him during the Big Ten meetings, so congratulate him, on the big win a couple weeks ago to make him the winningest coach in the Big Ten. And Iowa, it's a tough place to play, Kinnick Stadium. They sell it out almost every Saturday. It's loud. And so we're going to have to play well. This will be a challenge, a more difficult challenge than the last one for sure. And the sooner our guys realize that, the better.
Curt, you talk about your history with Coach Ferentz, but I'm just curious if you have any history with Kinnick. Obviously, it's a place that is very difficult to go, one of the tougher environments in the conference, and kind of has been, I think, particularly for, sort of teams that, as you talk about, need that refocusing quickly after a big win.
Yeah, I do not.
Yeah, Curt. Brian Haynes seems to be really mixing up his personnel with the front seven. Do you feel like you guys are more versatile there this year? And it seemed to make a difference on Saturday in terms of Illinois didn't really know what you guys were doing, couldn't diagnose things. But you feel like that's been a strength?
Yeah, Brian always mixes things up pretty good, finds ways to get to quarterback, create TFLs. I don't think anything has changed in that regard. That was probably more about the one-on-one matchups. But look, I mean, we have some egregious mistakes in the back end, particularly at safety. We have about 5 of them in that game, and we only got exposed once because of them. And if we don't clean those up, we're going to get fractured. And you can't put that stuff on tape.
Deep upper left and Seth.
Yeah, Curt, 2 questions. One with, I think his name is Wetjum, the returner. He's averaging like 35 a kickoff, like 33 for punt return. How big a concern is he?
Yeah, a great returner. Great returner. And they've always done a good job on kickoff return. And he took that first one against Rutgers. He was about 5 yards deep and was really untouched. And he's an excellent punt returner. He's in the 30s on kickoff return and punt return. So we're going to have to do a great job there. Be prepared and give great effort and tackle in space, defeat blocks.
And then I had a follow-up. Just what are you getting from Amari, and what do you need to get from him? Farrell? Amari Farrell?
Yeah, I mean, all 3 of those guys, we just need them to do what they're supposed to do consistently. Prepare a little better, see what's going on, make the proper adjustments, communicate quicker, and be where they're supposed to be. I mean, you can't play Tampa 2 coverage and with a safety it's supposed to be on the right and he's on the left and nobody's on number 2 to the field, and that's not necessarily him, okay? So all 3 of those guys are older guys. They're all capable of playing great football, and they have in spurts, but we need more consistency.
Seth in front of Daniel.
Curt, obviously, towards the end of last year, you had some issues going on the road and dealing with the loud environments, with the silent counts. I guess, how much time do you spend in the offseason trying to fix those issues, and what did that process look like?
Yeah, well, we went to something different last year in the college football playoff. We didn't use the silent. We really didn't have a problem hearing. And then in the off season, you spend time on it, and obviously it'll be a big point of emphasis this week in practice. I'm not going to tell you what we're going to do.
Daniel in front and Matt.
Isaiah Jones having a really strong year. Where have you kind of seen him, evolve from last year to now, and just what's kind of allowed him to play at that higher level more often this year?
Yeah, I think what you're seeing there is just another year of maturity. He was on the team before I got hired, had a back issue, so missed a lot of the season before. Got to play last year quite a bit, and he's just, the natural progression of reps accumulating, bigger, stronger, faster, older, wiser, that kind of thing.
Matt upper right and Zach B.
Coach, Iowa brought in a guy from the portal, I think from South Dakota, quarterback, Gronowski. Kind of struggled early on, but it looks like he's a pretty good athlete, can make some plays with his legs and his arm. What have you seen from him, especially recently? It looked like he played better against Rutgers.
Yeah, won a lot of football games. That guy has. He's a great competitor. He's a big guy. He's got good mobility. They'll run him, design runs, and then there's somewhere he could give it or run it. And, they've got good play action out of pocket game and in the pocket. And, he can make the throws. He's got a strong arm. They've built the offense around the quarterback. There's some new design there. And one thing I'm going to say about Iowa, and you guys all know this that have been in the Big Ten a while, is, they've been running basically the same defense for a long time. Now there's tweaks. And they've always played great defense. And they've got great special teams. And, they've always been able to run the ball really well. This quarterback, has been a guy that finds a way to get it done. But the thing about Iowa in general, they will not beat themselves. You will have to beat them. Okay, they're not going to beat themselves, and they play really well at home.
Zach in front of Josh.
Coach, you talked about the secondary. I'm curious, you called him day-to-day a few weeks ago. Where's Byron Baldwin at in his return timetable for you guys?
Yeah, I'll know more today.
Josh on your right, and Joe.
Coach, on the topic of just getting off to good starts, you got off to a decent start last week. How do you get off to that good start to silence that crowd?
Yeah, well, that always helps. But, you got to play the first play of the last play, which is I was proud of the way we approached every play last week, the mental intensity and the urgency we had, regardless of the score. We've traditionally gotten off to good starts. You're never really 100%. So it's a reflection of preparation, I think. And so hopefully we get off to a good start and then play well throughout and finish good. That's always the goal.
Joe up top to Will.
The receivers and playmakers, especially against Illinois, were getting the ball from Fernando and moving it in big chunks after the catch. How beneficial is it to not just, get the 10, 15, 20 extra yards after the catch?
No, it's huge. And a lot of those were on RPOs where he's not holding the ball very long. And, you're only throwing it if you get the right look. And those guys broke tackles. And, they had an injury or two in the back. They had one guy ejected and had an injury coming in. Our guys did a nice job out there. Now, I'd like to see them block every play, too, okay, because we played the second half, and our H's, I don't think they blocked anybody the whole second half.
Will, last one on your left.
Coach, on Saturday, you had writing on your left hand. It said attack in green and then 3 names in red. What's the significance of that?
It's a secret.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.